Okay, I'm going to show you how I actually do a turnout or wire a turnout. And this is a Pico Electro Frog turnout. It's a medium turnout. Now it's also got the spring in it, and that spring's going to come out. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. And also I'll show you how I'm going to wire the turnout. So I'm going to take out the spring now, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Now I don't know how good you can see the spring, so I'll put a piece of white paper down, and the spring is roughly, well, there. You can see that little black mark that goes between the two sleepers. Now that's all I've got to do is cut that spring, and then I won't get that snapping action after I put the tortoise switch machine on. So I'm going to just cut that with a knife. And as you can see now, the snap's gone because I've cut the wire. So that's all it is in cutting the wire. Now the wire's been cut. Now also I've got to cut two more wires, and they are, when I zoom in, the two wires that connect these two tracks where you've got the cut in the rails. So I have to cut them to power it all up. So I'm going to cut them, and the way I do that is I put a little screwdriver underneath the wire and lift it up. Like so. Now I've got to drill some holes now for the turnout. Now the tortoise machine will be coming up through this hole here, so I've got to drill a hole right where that hole is. So it'll be a 10mm hole. But the way I do it is I mark with a texter on each end of the bars, and then I just know the centre is roughly where the line is in the cork bed. And then also I will have a wire from these two rails and these two rails, and also the frog. So the way I mark the holes for the two wires is when I get it back in. Is I'll put a texter mark right at the end of each rail. And also you'll see this wire for the frog. I also got to drill a hole for that wire to go down underneath the layout, which again I've got to put it back in. Now I'll put a mark there, but when I take it out I always bring it in about 15 mil. So I've got to drill this hole, this hole, this hole and the big hole. So now I'm going to drill the 10mm hole for the tortoise machine. And now I'll drill the holes for the wires underneath the turnout. And also for the frog. And I'll just clean all that up. Okay, now that's all done, I can now wire or solder the wire on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire a black wire to those two rails and a black wire to those two rails, and also I'm going to wire a green wire to the frog wire. But instead of showing you how I'm going to solder it, I'll just go ahead and solder it and then you'll see what I mean. Okay, I've finished wiring now. As you can see, one black wire on the left and one black wire on the right on both rails, and then also the green wire for the frog. So now I have to put the tortoise machine in so I can put the turnout over the top of the wire. And also this is the way I've wired up my tortoise. Now pins 1 and 8 is my power. The pin 2 and 3 is the black wire that goes to the turnout, or those black wires will go to the turnout. But anyway, then I've got the frog. Then on the other side, if I want to put a signal up, I've got the red, blue and black again, and then a power one. And then at the end they all go into this barrier strip. So these wires on the turnout, 2 black wires, will go into this side of the 2 black wires, and where you can see the green wire from the turnout will go on the other side. So the turnout is not actually wired at all to the bus line. We feed from the power from the tracks. So just so you understand that. So no lines going to the bus line whatsoever. The lines from the turnouts, the 3 wires, will come into this barrier strip, and that's it. And also I've got to change this spring to just a little bit heavier duty, so I'll go do that. Okay, you can see the bar from the wire from the tortoise machine. So now I've just got to put the wire through the hole, and then also these wires in the hole. So at first I'll put this in the hole, like so. And also on these turnouts, if you're lining up where the frog is, the 2 frogs always has to have the plastic joiner, where the other sides will have the metal joiner. So the wire's in, and now I'll feed the black wires down underneath. And the other one. and then the frog. And now I'll join the turnout. Like so. And just pull these wires down. So it's flush, and then before I do anything I make sure that the tortoise machine's in the right spot, so I'll manually throw it and we'll go the other side and back. And then I will nail the turnout down. So that part is sort of finished. Then I'll show you underneath the layout. And as you can see, I've got the two black and the green from the turnout going into the two blacks and the green. Now the only difference is when I get power to the layout, these two blacks might have to be swapped around depending on the polarity of the track. So that's all it is to it. And there's the switch machine. So thanks for watching.